Hello, brothers and sisters. This is Tina. It's time for a daily devotional. God says, God's words expose people's corrupt dispositions. Whether male or female, one's level of corruption is the same. Is this not fact? Prior to doing anything else, we have to realize that we must accept every one of the words spoken by God, whether these utterances are pleasant sounding or not, and whether they give us a bitter feeling or a sweet one. Such is the attitude we should have toward God's words. What sort of attitude is this? Is it a devout attitude, a patient attitude, or an attitude of embracing suffering? I tell you that it is not any of these. In our faith, we must firmly maintain that God's words are the truth. Since they are indeed the truth, we should accept them rationally. Whether or not we are able to recognize or admit it, our first attitude toward God's words should be one of absolute acceptance. Every single line of God's words pertains to a specific state. That is, none of the lines of his utterances are about external appearances, much less about external rules or a simple form of behavior in people. They are not like that. If you see every line uttered by God as being about a simple kind of human behavior or external appearance, then you have no spiritual understanding and you do not understand what the truth is. God's words are profound. How are they profound? Everything that God says, everything that he reveals, is about people's corrupt dispositions and essential and deep-rooted things within their lives. They are essential things, not external appearances, and particularly not external behaviors. Amen. This passage of words is very deep. We can say God's words are really profound, like he says. God's words are to expose our corrupt dispositions. It doesn't matter what gender we have. There is no difference in male and female when it comes to corruption. We're all corrupted the same, right? Like God says, one's level of corruption is the same. And this is a fact, right? We might be self-righteous, arrogant. Maybe our arrogance is more dominant than somebody else's self-righteousness, but we all have the same corruptions. And we have to realize that we have to accept every one of God's words. Why? Because they're the truth. And this is where Christ said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Right? So God's words are the truth, whether we like them or not, whether, like God says, they're either pleasant sounding words or whether they give us a bitter feeling or a sweet one, we still have to accept them because they are the truth. We may not understand them at that moment. Maybe our caliber is still too low. Or maybe our understanding is not at the level it needs to be to have an understanding of why God says what he says in comparison to relating them to our own self. But the attitude that we need to have towards God's words is to accept every word he says as the truth. And that's something that, as a created being, we need to be able to be submissive to God, right? So in our faith, we have to firmly maintain that God's words are the truth and they're facts. And we should accept them, right, rationally. Whether or not we're able to recognize or admit it, our attitude should be one of absolute acceptance. That is the position we need to stand in because God is the creator. And God's words, maybe they're harsh, but they're there to reveal as a love and kindness for us to help us to see our true selves. Right? So God's words, they don't talk about external appearances like we might think, or they don't talk about good behaviors. God is not looking at our good behavior. It's going much deeper to go into the nature, right? So God's words are targeting the sinful nature, targeting the essence of man. So everything that God says, everything that he does is to reveal the things within our lives that are not compatible with what is righteous. They're to reveal the life that we should live out in accordance with being compatible with God. God is a righteous, holy God, right? So they're essential things that it reveals. They're not about external appearances and about our external behaviors. So this passage is a really deep passage, but it's telling us to understand that God's words are the truth. And God's words, we should always accept them as the truth, whether we understand them or not, knowing that God stands in the highest position. So I really like this passage. I hope that you also like it. If you'd like to share your understanding or any understanding you have on parts of this passage, please feel free to do so. And we'll see you next time. God bless you and have a wonderful day. Bye.
Thank you for watching. And if you like our video, please click on the like and subscribe button. Hope to see you next time.